Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
Hello, guys. Thanks for coming back to another episode. Appreciate that. Or if it's your first one, welcome aboard. Pat and JT all across. It's Pat and JT, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Speaking of Facebook and Instagram, any problems yesterday? Withdrawal symptoms? How's everybody doing? 6 hours, no access. Honestly, and Cam, thank you for coming back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I honestly didn't miss it, and almost it was like a relief.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to, and it's not that it's like it's a chore, but it's just one of those things that you're like, you know what? If I didn't have to do this, I wouldn't be mad. If I didn't have this.
Yeah.
And I think for most people, it sounded like it was like this necessary evil. That it wasn't the addiction to the information; it was just the ability to log on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the time suck that it is. Yeah, just really. There was so much production. People got some stuff done yesterday. Is the deal?
Seriously, at one point though, I have to say, Twitter was like the only thing working.
Mm-hmm.
And Twitter, I think it was either Jack or Twitter, I don't know which one, but they posted something about welcome virtually everyone because everybody was on Twitter.
Went there. That's the only place they could go.
It's the only place they could go. It's like, oh, I guess I got to go back to the old school or go back to the hood or whatever you're.
I thought my internet was crapping out on me.
Everybody did.
Yeah, I that Nextdoor app. So I'm on there, and somebody posts in there saying, "Hey, are you guys having internet issues too? I can't get on my Facebook." And that's when I started researching, and it's like, "Oh, the whole system's down.
The whole world is having an issue.
We're all screwed. It's not just you and
I
your
was
crappy internet connection."
At the dentist. Trust me, you're going to hear that phrase a lot in the next few months. And I was at the dentist and sitting there, and a guy next to me was on the phone, and apparently there was something that she wanted that was somewhere on Facebook or this or that or whatever, and he's like, I can't get to it right now. He says, I'm trying, but he says, I think there must be something, and he thought it was his fault. You know, basically it was his phone, his internet, his basically, and I'm like, okay, I'm eavesdropping, but no, it's not you. I'm like, it's everybody. It's not, and it's not just Facebook. It's all the other Facebook stuff.
Yeah.
Plus a lot of other things too were interrupted.
You could see everything from before.
Yeah.
You could scroll around. So there was still stuff, but it was always like yesterday or Saturday's post. So it was all this Husker stuff I was seeing from Saturday. It's like, okay, can we get to now?
And if somebody had posted on something, you could click on it and see the comment, but you couldn't see any new stuff. Everything else, nothing.
Did you get any messages? So I use Messenger as my primary text service.
Messenger was down yesterday,
I know, but then once it kicked back on, it was like, blah, 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 blah. Here's a bunch of messages for you. At least it came back, but it was very... hey, Facebook's back up. That was my notification to know that everything's working again in the world.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, there were some others. I think actually I took a screenshot of a post that I saw about everything else that was down. Which at first when I saw, and this was early on, so I'm thinking, well, wait, is this just Facebook or is this like something else going on? Because it seemed pretty weird that not only them, let's see, I also had some Amazon Web Services, some Google services, AT&T, T-Mobile, all seeing problems according to Down Detector. And nothing affected me that were on those other services that I know of. But, okay, that's one way to stop us in our tracks.
Yeah.
You know, somebody to unplug everything.
For sure.
And all of a sudden you can't do with the stuff that you do. And you're like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah. Luckily, I was waiting on one Amazon package, and that was like the picture came through, everything was delivered fine. So I'm like, cool, I'm out. I got all my internet done for today.
I'm good to go. I'm good to roll. So everything seems to be back, and some people also, the conspiracy theories are out all over the place. Of course, Sunday night was the 60 Minutes special, or I'm not going to call it a special, but interview with one of the quote unquote whistleblower that worked at Facebook, and some irregularities there. And then today, I think there's testimony in Washington, D.C. also for big tech. And so it's like, distraction, it's, something, get everybody's attention over here. Quit talking about that, which we're kind of like onto to the point of it being a joke anymore, and didn't realize it before, but how easy it is to pull people's attentions off of attention off of one subject that you should stay focused on. And then now we're 100% on this. And isn't it weird that this seems like the news can't walk and chew gum at the same time?
No.
One story at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
they
you
can't
get.
cover 2 or 3. No.
No.
It's like, Facebook's down. That's the headline today.
Right?
Yeah.
And then where's Afghanistan?
Right.
Okay. All right. That was the big
Right,
one for
yeah.
how many days, right?
Yep.
And then something else comes along.
Scandal for whatever politician. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Or some kind of a, something else big happens. But yeah, it's just one thing. And that's all they can do.
Yep.
Like, okay, we used to be able to do more than that. I don't know what the problem is, but we can't multitask anymore, apparently, covering more than one story. But
we can do that. We're going to cover all the stories.
Well, this is a news dump.
Tell you what.
So just be warned.
Tell you what.
I don't know if it's genuinely good news, but like as in credible, but it's a news dump. So the Facebook thing, that was a big deal. Before that happened, yesterday? Was it yesterday? It was after that happened. I posted, there's a video. And I don't know where it's from. Somebody else had posted it. It's on the side of a mountain or a big hill. It looks like it would be ideal on the side of a hill of a ski resort during spring or summer. And they had this giant slingshot.
Oh, sweet.
And a guy is sitting in it. And
like a human-sized
crank
slingshot.
it back. And then they shoot him off into the air off the side of the mountain. And then perfectly placed is a huge pool of water that he lands in that is encircled by this inflatable tube.
Oh, wow.
And they were just shooting people off the side of the mountain
That would
hill
be
or
fun.
a big hill, right?
I'm not a big fan of like heights or anything, but I would definitely get that ride. That would be my thrill-seeking ride there.
It was really cool. As a matter of fact, here, let me see if I can. I'll try and send this to you. I think I can. This is the fun part.
Depending on the technology and where it's.
I am live
what it's doing
tweeting right
today.
now. So hold on. Let's see what goes down. There you are. I found you on Twitter. So
I'm on Twitter.
I'm sending it to you right now. So you can see it so we can get your honest reaction to seeing this video in real time. But I saw it and I thought, that would be that would be a great idea for a summer activity for a ski resort that, obviously is not in a place that sees a lot of snow year round. Or maybe one in Colorado would be good. But then I'm thinking, hey, Nebraska. Do you remember Nebraska? Are you watching it?
That's awesome. Yes.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
We'll post this too. We'll post this up
we'll
on.
put that up for
yep.
sure.
So we can share the fun.
Yeah, flying around.
Catapults them.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And you see some of them get really fancy in the air.
Yeah, they do flips and
Yeah. You're all eagles.
No diving. They're diving at it. It's
No,
it's
don't
not
do that.
deep enough.
No,
No,
it's
just belly flop. That's
But I was thinking, okay, so remember Nebraska? Do you remember Nebraska?
I don't.
See, and somebody, I tried looking it up online, and I know it's been closed for a long time, but it used to be between Ashland and it was on the interstate, just east of Lenoa.
Okay.
And there was a ski resort, if you will. It was a big hill and it had a couple of really good runs. When it first started, it was like one of those, skiing in Nebraska. I don't know. Let's give it a whirl. But I was still in school when it started. So it started a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right. I remember going there with a girlfriend. My mom took us and I remember skiing down one of the hills. They were all bunny hills, probably in some people's estimation, but, going down the hill and then picking up speed. Yeah, and difficulty. She had difficulty stopping. It was there in Mount Crescent. Those were the two places you could go,
those are the only
right?
two. So Mount Crescent's still around, though, right?
It's still
snowing that
around.
up. Okay.
So it could be something that Mount Crescent could look into
Right.
doing something like this. But yeah, Nebraska, I don't know what happened to it. If anybody knows, I mean, I haven't driven by it, except by it on the interstate and didn't take a second look. Just curious whatever happened with it or what it ended up being. And literally when I was looking for it, I came across this article, Ski Bum or something like that. I don't know what it was, but they were talking about Nebraska's ski guide. I'm like, wait, that's 2 pages?
The one guy in Nebraska is going to teach you to ski.
And the Nebraska ski guide. And apparently there are a couple, 3 places to go skiing in Nebraska. At Cornhusker Ski Club, I'm guessing they travel together.
Yeah, I imagine once you get up northern Nebraska, it's pretty hilly, I would imagine.
Well, there was a place at one time, and it is, and where's it at? Let me find it. Devil's Nest Ski Area.
Ooh, spooky.
And it's up by a town called, if you want to check it out, Lindy, Nebraska. They say average snowfall, Lindy, Nebraska, which is a nearby town where it's still, apparently still, parts of it are still there. It's like an abandoned ski resort, which I did not know. And there's a picture of what was the ski lodge in here, and it's all under an article, Ghosts of North America. And
it's a haunted ski lodge?
Yeah.
Oh,
they've had
sounds like a
people
good time.
they've had people go up there and kind of take some amazing photographs. And it's eerie. It's kind of like looking at any abandoned amusement park that has things growing where they aren't supposed to be growing. And
the Mystery Machine and Shaggy and Scooby should be showing up
Right?
anytime soon, right?
When you say it too, like there's an abandoned truck, a pickup sitting there that's somebody just stopped and got out, and they just left it there. And anyway, they say that the average snowfall in Lindy is 35 inches a year.
Wow.
I didn't know. Is Lindy?
I tried to find
at?
it. It didn't show up for me. I might be spelling it wrong. I'm not good at spelling.
Lindy, Nebraska.
Lindy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unincorporated community.
That's why it doesn't exist on the internet, because it's unincorporated.
It is in Knox County. That's where it is. So it is up there. And it almost looks as abandoned as the ski resort, to be quite honest. I see a couple pictures here of it.
It's there's not even I found it on a Google site, citydata.com, and it's like you can add your own photo because there aren't any photos yet.
The population's 13. And where is that at? It's not too far from Yankton.
6 men and 7 women is the population.
Somebody's fifth wheel. I don't, or not. Where else would be close up there? Verdigris, Creighton, Bloomfield, Wausau, Hardington. It's up in that area is where it's at. So way up north is where this thing is. And I just thought it was fascinating. I'm like, they had 12 trails to come down.
Okay.
And the trails, it was funny too, because somebody found a picture of the trail map at the time, and this was from the early 70s. And so the name of the trails were Catcher Quick, Frozen U, Mount Moriah, Buckboard, The Staircase, It'll Never Work, Devil's Dragon, Rustler's Run is another one, the Wagon Tongue. I don't know. Yeah, they had the map of all the different trails that were up there, which I thought, well, that's kind of cool. But I'm going to see more pictures of this place now, so I got to hunt these down. But it's still got the ski lift.
Oh,
and I don't know if we were talking about that, with the things that were developed in Nebraska. The ski lift was developed in Nebraska.
Oh, really?
By an engineer and not a train engineer, but at Union Pacific. He was a design engineer.
Okay.
And he developed it, and UP first used it at a ski resort they owned in Utah. Is where it was first tried out. But the ski lift was actually developed in Nebraska.
You need a star, like a more you know.
I feel like
here,
I do.
Yeah.
I actually just heard it. It was right behind me. But
star swipe.
See, that's where that random shit that I read about, those stupid rabbit holes, comes in handy every once in a while. So anyway, but I'm wondering if like Mount Crescent, that would be a really cool deal, going back to the catapult. I know there's probably insurance involved, but there are also waivers. So
sign your life away. You're good. Yeah.
I saw a lot of people that were like, there were people asking if you'd do it, and people are like, yes, multiple times. I would do this over and over.
So when you said the side of a mountain, and you're like, there's launching people off the side of a mountain, like that sounds like some ritualistic sacrifice.
Right?
But it's like, oh no, it's on like a green hill. This is fine.
It's more like, and it'd be perfect for a Mount Crescent ski.
Yes, it's
run.
very, very much a Mount Crescent. I'm not coordinated enough to ski. I've never skied. I've attempted like snowboarding, but only on like the hills at my house in the wintertime. Like, so, maybe a 20-foot hill. That's all I'm getting.
Next step up from a sled.
So yeah, I'm good with like tubing. We can go tubing. I'll like ride a tube down, but I can't skateboard. I can't ski. I'm just not coordinated to stand up that much.
Is it your center of gravity?
I think
too
I'm
high?
just like we discussed yesterday. I'm a giant, so it's just like I'm top heavy for sure.
For sure,
yeah.
Yeah, that would make a difference.
Yep.
That definitely would. And the skiing part, water skiing.
Nope. Again, that's just a tube situation. I'll ride a tube
all day long.
All day long. Give me a tube, put it on water, put it on snow. We're out there, man.
We used to do that. My dad would hook on the tractor and take us kids out in the pasture, and then we'd hook about 4 different inner tubes, long lines of rope
Oh yeah.
And then he just drive around and circle us around
Now,
in the snow.
Snow. Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah,
in
it was
snow.
in the snow,
It's
not
like
in the
dirt.
grass.
Yeah.
Although we would try it.
Yeah. Yeah. After a nice rain when it's good and slick in the morning or whatever. Yeah, you're
why
good.
not? But yeah, that was the way. And there were several near misses.
Of course. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that was always a great
Getting
time.
your lines crossed and
Yes.
somebody loses a finger or whatever.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of Nextdoor too, you mentioned that you were on that. You like that app?
I get notifications. It's funny to see the goofy stuff people post on there. It's usually a lost cat, but sometimes it's, watch out for these people around the neighborhood checking on car doors. And, so there's various things that happen. I just kind of like check it out.
A lot of Ring movies.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of goofy stuff. And I'm in, Midtown, so it's even goofier.
Oh my God.
That's where I hail from. So, yeah, it's all kinds of just this, that, and the other. So I like just checking out the pictures and whatever stuff people are
It
posting
never
up
fails
there.
to me though, because when I get a notification of something, and usually it'll be whatever posted, posted the day or or whatever it is, and when I go to it, it's been removed. I'm like, damn it, that looked really good. I wanted to see it, but one came up yesterday, and it's been removed. But it came up yesterday, and it garnered a lot of attention, like really fast, and then somebody pulled it off. But we've talked about this before, and I know I have some people that are just absolutely in that aisle, and then there are people that are absolutely not in that aisle. But when it comes to driving, and they talk about the zipper lane merge,
Oh, yeah.
and that causes a lot of controversy.
Yep.
And somebody had posted about used zipper lane to the fullest. And the lady, and she took a picture of her side mirror so she could see the car behind her, right? So the lady behind her, and the picture was a company. It said, and this lady gave me a look I won't forget all day. Why merge when you have 2 more miles of right lane to yourself, right? It's just like, okay.
The snark on Nextdoor app is just great.
It is.
It's so good.
It is so good. And so then it began. And it's kind of interesting because some people are fully in that camp, the zipper lane merge. Yeah. And then somebody came back with finally, because it drives me crazy. And I always feel like if I'm that person that's in that other lane that has to merge, I feel like I'm cutting. And by the same token, if I'm in the lane, because I'm looking ahead, you see it coming, so you get over.
Exactly.
Right? And then all of a sudden, it's like somebody just pulled their head out of their phone.
They go right up to
and they're like, oh, shit. And they turn on their light, and they're like wanting in right now. And you're like, no,
man.
I don't think so.
Get in line like the rest of us.
You weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
You can go back.
You had 2 miles. You saw this coming.
And somebody pointed out that's kind of the mentality for a lot of people. I don't know if it's not necessarily a Nebraska thing, but it is definitely that no cuts, no cutting.
Right.
You grew up with that, right?
No cutsies.
And you pay attention to what's coming. And then somebody else said, well, it's proven that if you use zipper lane merge, traffic moves faster. And so somebody posted then a video that was literally from like the Department of Transportation or whatever. It's not meant to move traffic faster. It's to lessen the congestion behind whatever the obstacle is.
And potential road rage that would come from not merging.
So if everybody was over in one lane, you'd have this tremendously long, like you'd have a 2 mile long line, as opposed to 2 lanes where you have 1 mile of crap.
Yep.
Instead of 2 miles of crap. So you aren't blocking as many other intersections
for sure
behind you, but you don't get through it any faster.
No.
Whether you zipper or you don't. You don't get through it because it's kind of like salt in an hourglass. It's like people getting out of an airplane. It's like people leaving a concert.
Right.
There's only so many doors and only so many bodies can go through at one time.
I'm a big fan of the zipper merge when you pay attention to the situation.
Absolutely. I
had to do the thing where I was like not letting some chick in the other day. Like she kept nudging her bumper in, and I'm like, no. I looked right at her, and I shook my finger. I said, no, no, no. And then she got all upset, and she was yelling things at me.
What's his name, the basketball player?
King Bembatumbo?
Whatever, something. Yes, that guy.
No. Not in my house. But it was the same thing. You got 2 miles. You see it coming. I'm at the place where it's your last chance to get in.
And they
Otherwise,
came roaring
you wait.
up, right?
And they're like, I got more important things to do. I'm like, no, you don't.
I need to get through. I have important plans.
Yeah, so I gave her the wave of the finger.
So that's a good point. So to kind of clarify, I'm not opposed to it, but it's like everybody just kind of lift your head up. But I see so many more. Maybe it's just because I'm really the anxiety when I see somebody on their phone and they're drifting, or they don't go like when everybody else goes at the stoplight because they're on their phone. All of a sudden, they take off.
Yeah, they're the third car in line, and they just, oh, wait, I got to.
Or I drive by them because I'm in the other lane, and I drive by them, so I'm looking right at them as I drive by because they're still on their phone. And it's like, dude, everybody's leaving. Here we go. And then seeing people, just not paying attention. And it's funny because most people that are doing that, and because I used to do it too when we first started driving with our cell phones, you could do the dial and didn't have the screen even, right? But you could do that T-touch.
Oh, T9, yeah.
T9 because you could feel the buttons and you knew what you were doing, you thought. Mm-hmm. We all think we're better at it than we are.
You miss one thing and it just screws up the entire sentence, yeah.
But you're trying to be able to watch the road while you're doing that. But now it's just like people are just like driving with their knee, and hitting buttons. And I'm like, oh, my God. Look up. So anyway, that was quite the spirited conversation. That it
on
went
that
for,
thread, like, did it go for miles? I'm
sure.
It
went on for pages. Pages.
People are zipper merging comments in there.
Oh, and the snark is rich.
That's my favorite.
It really is. But
thing.
they did get into then this is the YouTube movie. It slows everybody down.
Oh, it's like
is the name of it?
Okay.
It slows everybody down. It's talking about zipper merge and how it really does affect the flow of the traffic. Honestly, it just makes the what do you call them, the transportation people feel good because they got you past that last intersection.
Right. Or
so you're not blocking that last intersection.
When you're leaving a concert, especially one that you have to park at, which I think is every one of them, right?
Yeah.
That's where zipper merge is really your biggest friend because then it's like, okay, you go. It's like four-way stop
100%.
idea mentality, right?
100%. Everybody is coming from the same
right
place. On the highway, it's a little difficult.
For sure. Yeah, that's a different story because then, pop-up construction here and there. You just don't see it coming half the time. But when you got a good 2 miles and you can see that coming, that's where I have to wave the finger.
Have to draw the line. Exactly.
The index finger,
there you go.
to be specific.
And right. I'm not trying to be total jerk.
Right. I'm just saying you should pay attention.
You need to lift your head up. So we'll take any of your comments on that. I was trying to, by the way, I don't know what our phone number is. Isn't that funny? I thought I did, and I called it, and it wasn't it.
If you know it, text it to us.
Could you please post our number?
Let us know what our number is.
Because obviously Pat's not here. And so we also can't get our voicemail because Pat's not here.
Pat.
Because I don't know where it lives. So,
so email is probably the best way to go about things, right?
We've got hey@patandjt.com. That works. Of course, it's Pat and JT is across everything. Mm-hmm. And also, I got to give you credit, too, because you found both our open and our close. Do you know where our close is now?
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right there.
It's on this magenta button over here.
Okay, so awesome. So did you have anything else you wanted to throw on the table today?
Let me double check to make sure I'm right. Yep, that's right.
Okay, so did you have anything else you wanted to throw on the table?
I just wanted to, because we talked about video games and stuff yesterday. I've got this nerd thing. Mm-hmm. Did you see that William Shatner's going to space next week?
Is he really?
Yeah.
That's
so
beautiful.
He's teamed up with Bezos.
Oh,
Jeff
my
Bezos
God.
of Amazon, and he is going into space with Blue Origin.
This explains it. Clay Anderson was on TV this morning. Clay Anderson, our Nebraska-naut. Nebraska from Ashland, yes. And Clay was on national news today because he calls them castronauts.
Oh, because they got all the money.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm,
what a witty guy Clay is.
He is. He really is. But he stays true to himself no matter the audience. It's like he's always Clay. He's always Clay. But the William Shatner is like the perfect person.
Yeah.
He or Picard would be and I can't remember what his name is, but anyway, they would be my choices to definitely go with space.
Put that in your captain's log because it's next Tuesday, October 12th. And when this happens, William Shatner being a 90-year-old man, he will be the oldest human being
and astronaut
ever to go into space.
Are they going to go far enough so he's actually an astronaut, or are they just going to do like the guys did the first time where they just like tickled the edge?
It doesn't quite say how far they're going to tickle the edge. I'm going to save that. Play that back sometime.
Because the first couple of guys when they went up when all the rich boys were playing, and they went up and they just like right on the edge of it, and then they came back down.
Which I mean, there's been a couple of bands that have done music videos that same idea, where they're floating for a second and then they're not floating,
And then the next one actually went into outer space, so they were legit astronauts. So I don't think you need to be.
Was that the Virgin Mobile one?
I think so. I'd have to go back and look
or was it Elon Musk with his giant Starship destroyer?
I think it was Elon.
Okay.
To be honest, I do, because the first two wasn't it Bezos, whatever,
with his shafty looking
and Branson.
rocket. Yeah.
Right?
And
Those
then
two did
Branson,
it first because it was like they all threw all their cash out the window and
Yep.
they went flying up high.
Yep.
And then Musk, who also throws all his cash out, but he comes up with some really cool shit.
Right.
And he actually broke the barrier, so legit astronaut, which that brought up the question, are they astronauts if they aren't employed as such? Are you just an astronaut because you did it? It's like, well, you're a hiker if you hike.
That's true. Yeah. You go on a little adventure.
You ride a motorcycle, you're a rider,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, if they went into outer space, they're an astronaut.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Clay, though, on the castronauts.
For sure. They had an SNL skit over the weekend, too, for the 47th season premiere, where they poked fun at Bezos and Branson, and it was pretty great. Like,
Isn't it crazy?
It was like Star Wars, but, with those guys instead.
And
Yeah.
they're like having their own version of Battleship. And,
Exactly, yeah.
But those two, you look at Bezos, he just got divorced, lost half his money, can still afford to fly into space.
Yeah. Must be nice.
She didn't take enough. Just saying. So, all right. With that, boom, and here we are. There it is. There's a close. So again, it's Pat and JT all the way across the board: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Drop us a line, guys.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.